Hello, good morning students. Welcome in my today's class. In today's class, we will start a famous poem Ode to the West Wind. Today, we will start Ode to the West Wind poem, and this poem was written by P.B. Shelley. This poem was written by P.B. Shelley, whose full name was Percy Bysshe Shelley. P.B. Shelley's full name was Percy Bysshe Shelley. P.B. Shelley, who was a famous romantic poet of 19th century, who wrote the poem Ode to the West Wind. This poem was written in 1819 at Florence in Italy, but this poem was published in 1820 with Prometheus Unbound. Prometheus Unbound was a poetical drama written by P.B. Shelley. This poem is divided into 5 sections. The poem Ode to the West Wind is divided into 5 sections, and each section has 14 lines. Each section has 14 lines, and this poem is written in iambic pentameter. In the first, second, and third sections, the poet describes the effect of west wind on the earth, on the sky, and on the ocean. And in the fourth section, the poet requests to the west wind to lift him as a wave, a leaf, and a cloud. In the last concluding section of the poem, the poet has a message of hope for mankind, and he requests to the west wind to spread it in the whole of the world, just like ashes and sparks are scattered from the fireplace. And this section has a optimistic message, and it has hope for mankind. So students, let's start the first stanza of the poem Ode to the West Wind. In this stanza, the poet describes the effect of west wind on the earth. It is both as destroyer as well as preserver on the earth. West wind is symbol of might, power, and force. O wild west wind, O wild west wind. Here, alliteration figure of speech has been used. Thou breath of autumn's wing, thou from whose unseen presence the leaves dead. Here, inversion figure of speech has been used. Are driven like goats from an enchanter fleeing, yellow, black, and pale, and hectic red, pestilence stricken multitudes. O thou who charitest to their dark wintry bed, the winged seeds where they lie cold and low, each like a corpse within its grave, until thine azure sister of the spring shall blow her clarion over the dreaming earth, and fill driving sweets words like flocks to feed in air, with living hues and odors, plains and hill, wild spirit which art moving everywhere, destroyer and preserver, hear, O hear. The poet addresses the west wind as if it were a living personality who can hear him. He also personifies autumn and describes the west wind as the breath of autumn. What he means is that the west wind is the omniscient, west wind is omnipresent spirit of autumn. The wind is invisible, but its power over the dead leaves can clearly be seen. When it blows, its force drives the dried leaves lying on the ground in the same way as the approach of a magician drives away ghosts. In this line, the poet compares west wind with a magician. The best wind conveys the winged seeds to their dark wintry bed under the earth, where they will remain lying throughout the winter, lifeless and unable to move or rise. Each seed will lie underground like a dead man in his grave. The seeds will continue to lie underground till the spring comes, with its light breezes and blue skies, and blow its trumpet in order to awaken the sleeping earth. With the coming of spring, nature wakes to a new life. The poet imagines that the spring blows a trumpet in order to arouse the earth, just as trumpet is blown to call soldiers to duty. Then the poet employs another metaphor, just as a shepherd takes his flock to sheep. In this line, the poet imagines that the spring blows a trumpet in order to arouse the earth, just as a trumpet is blown to call soldiers to duty. The poet compares the spring to a shepherd. The poet P.B. Shelley compares spring to a shepherd. Just as a shepherd takes his flocks of sheep to the field in order to graze them, similarly, the spring derives the seeds out of the words in which they are shut into the open air. With the coming of spring, birds and flowers begin to bloom and feed in the air, just as sheep walk about the field in the field. In a word, the spring will fill the valleys and hills with birds and flowers, which have beautiful colors and sweet smells. In the last two lines, the poet calls west wind as a wild spirit because it is very powerful, and he calls west wind both as destroyer as well as preserver. He calls west wind destroyer because west wind derives the dead leaves on the earth, and he calls preserver because west wind preserve the seeds for fresh life.